Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. My name is Rebecca, and if you're new here, I post videos mostly about luxury and lifestyle. So if you're into that kind of content, then definitely hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over my updated 2021 wish list. And the main reason I wanted to do this is because my wish list has changed quite a bit, I feel like, as far as especially the fashion houses that I'm interested in. So I thought it would be interesting to go over my updated 2021 and let you know if I got any of the items that I had from the beginning of the year. So if you want to hear my updated wish list, then just keep on watching. Alright, so the first thing I want to jump in with is just checking off a couple of the items that I did end up picking up from the beginning of the year's wish list. It was only 2 items. So the first one was the Louis Vuitton GM Agenda. I had that on my wish list at the beginning of the year, and after about a month of being able to, go back and forth with an essay and watching the website, I was able to get it. I do have an unboxing video for the GM Agenda on my channel, as well as a planning video, so I'll go ahead and link those down below in case you're interested. And the other item that I did end up picking up this year, which technically wasn't on my wish list, but I ended up getting it because of an item on my wish list, and that was the Toiletry 26. That was the item originally on my wish list, but after I ended up seeing the model in person and seeing some other toiletry bags, I did go with the Toiletry 25. I have a couple videos on that on my channel as well, including one that goes very in-depth on all the different items that you can fit in it, as well as how you can pack it in different luggage. So if you want to check that out, I definitely recommend. I really went in depth with that one, so I hope that it would be helpful to you guys. So that is the only 2 items from my 2021 beginning of the year wish list that I did end up picking up so far this year. So now if you see me looking this way, it's because I do have my wish list on my computer and I want to make sure that I don't forget anything. So I'm not really going to go in any particular order, but I will kind of sprinkle in which items are my top wanted. That way, you can kind of see where I'm at. So the first item, and this has been on my wish list for so long, on and off YouTube before I started doing wish list videos, that is the Louis Vuitton Palm Springs Mini backpack. I seriously want this bag so bad. I was tempted one time in the store when they had it, but the main reason I didn't pull the trigger on it then was because the model that they had was the back of it just didn't look like it was crafted together very well, so I didn't do it, but I really do want to get that bag. That is probably the next bag that I would actually buy, just to check that off my wish list. And to be honest with you, that's pretty much the last Louis Vuitton bag that I really see myself getting anytime soon, unless they come out with some really cool bag that I just fall in love with. But for the most part, once I get the Palm Springs Mini, that's it for Louis Vuitton bags. I'm kind of graduating into another fashion house. So the next item on my wish list, I'm going to actually group these together, and they are the Chanel Classic Flaps. Now, it's going to sound insane, but I really do want the small, medium, and jumbo, I believe. Obviously, I have not actually seen these bags in person, so maybe my opinion would change, if I were to acquire one of them or even go see them in person. But hear me out on why I want all 3. I want the jumbo because I feel like that is the perfect shoulder carry. That is a really good everyday bag from what I've seen on, through watching tons of YouTube videos. I probably watched every single video on YouTube about the jumbo. I've watched them all. So I think that bag is perfect for, your everyday. And of course, I do see the cons of it. Like I said, I've watched every video, so I would really need to go see it in person, I feel like, to know 100%, but I really am in love with the way it looks, the way it sits on the shoulder, just everything about it. So I really, really do want that bag. Now, I will say it is very discouraging with all the Chanel price increases. I feel like I'm never going to get there. I feel like I'm just never going to ever be able to save up the money to be able to get one, which is really a bummer because I really do love the bags, and I love bags in general, so it is very discouraging for the everyday consumer, which granted, I know Chanel's main client, they don't want it to be the everyday consumer, it seems like, but I feel like I still want to enjoy luxury bags even if I'm not in their ideal clientele. So The reason I want the medium classic flap is because I feel like that is the perfect like wearing long on the shoulder. So with the jumbo, I would only wear that with the chains doubled up. I think it looks really awkward crossbody or even on the shoulder unless you're super tall. I'm only 5'2", so based on the videos I've seen, I just know that won't work for me. The medium though, I do feel like is the perfect like long shoulder bag. And this is another one that I do feel like I would use on an everyday basis. So I do go back and forth on, do I want to get the jumbo first or do I want to get the medium? Again, I think it would just boil down to seeing them in person. But going back to the price increases, it's like, do I want to go for the most expensive one first because it's only going to get more expensive? Or do I start with, let's say the medium? Again, it would really just depend on what I fall in love with at the time, like if I'm ever able to actually purchase these items. And then the reason I kind of want the small, I go between the small and the mini square. The main reason I would want the small, I think, is for like nights out or like quick casual, like, running out, not my everyday carry. And I go back and forth between the small and the mini square because obviously the mini square or the mini rectangle are way cheaper than the classic flaps because they're not technically classic flaps, they are seasonal. But, it's like I kind of do like the, double flap feature of the classic flaps, and I like that there's like 2 grommets so you can double up the chain. However, the minis you can really comfortably wear crossbody, and I don't think with any of the classic flaps on my body type I would be able to wear any of them crossbody. I probably could, it would just be that higher look, which is seeming to be pretty in style at the moment, so it's definitely not impossible. But the small would also be like a strictly long shoulder carry, but you could double up the chain, which I think gives those, the medium and the small a whole different look. So I do go back and forth, like I said, and I know I didn't mention this, but I would, at the moment, I'm thinking I want the jumbo in the black caviar with silver hardware. I would honestly want the medium in silver hardware with black caviar, and then the small, I think I would do maybe in the gold hardware or silver, and again, black caviar. I know it seems crazy to want them all in black, but, of course at this point I don't own any of them. So it's like whatever one I get first is definitely going to be in black, and, and also too, I think black bags are just so much easier to style. Most of my wardrobe is neutral, so I feel like black just goes with everything, and if I'm spending, that many thousands on a bag, I want it to be something I can wear all the time. And I think if let's say in a perfect world, I owned the jumbo and I owned the medium, both in black caviar, one in silver, or both in silver, whatever. I think at that point, maybe the small, if I were to ever get one, a small or a mini, I would go for maybe a different color. Just because if I had 2 classic flaps already in black, I could probably see myself branching out and maybe even doing like beige or a pretty pink or something. But even that's like hard to think about because I feel like I would still want black even if I had 2 others in black. So anyway, enough about the classic flaps. The next item on my wish list, and it has been on my list for a while, is the Chanel boy bag in the old medium size, also in black with the Ruthenium hardware. I absolutely love that Ruthenium hardware. I think it looks awesome, especially on a black bag. And I would also want that one in caviar. I really don't want a lambskin bag except one. There is one on here, so stay tuned. And I just love the look of the boy, and I do feel like the boy bag is perfect because you can wear it crossbody from what I've seen on different people. You can double up the chain, you can wear it long on the shoulder. I think it is the most versatile in regards to like how I could use it in my lifestyle, and I really just love that edgy look of the boy bag. I do wear a lot of black, and my hair is black. I like black, that's my favorite color. And I do just really think that the boy bag is really easy to incorporate with casual outfits. So I really do love that bag. And again, that is one that is a little bit more attainable, I would say. I mean, granted, it's still an insane price, and they just increased it as well. So again, it's like, I just feel like it's never going to happen for me, but it is a little bit more attainable than the classic flaps, at least price-wise. But again, it's like I go back and forth. If I get to where I've saved up enough to buy the boy, do I want to just push a little bit longer and get the classic flap first, since those are the most expensive? The classic flaps are all well over the price of a boy, so it's really a tough decision. Again, I think it would really just boil down to being in the store, seeing the bags, and then going from there. Then the next Chanel bag that I want is the small Chanel 19. Now I had this on my wish list previously. I kind of took it off, and then I've recently like fallen in love with it again. And I would want this one in black, and this would be lambskin. I believe they do come out with goat skin, but after seeing videos, I think I do prefer it in the lambskin. And the main thing I really like about the Chanel 19 is that it is definitely like a casual, you can wear that with anything. I probably wouldn't wear it for like formal occasions, but most of my life is not formal, it's mostly casual. And I just think that is a perfect everyday bag. It holds a ton. And one of the main selling points for the Chanel 19 that I think is awesome is that the back pocket is actually very functional. I've seen everybody put their phone in it, and I think that is great because, you know, sometimes I want to put my phone in my bag, but I don't want to have to be fussing with a flap to get it out because in general, I do keep my phone in my hand or my pocket, but sometimes the need arises where you need to put it in your bag, and it's nice to have that option of getting it, you know, easily accessed. So I really, really do like this bag as well. I think, again, just like the boy, it is a very edgy and just fun bag, and I think it is just really beautiful. Now, I don't know if I would go for the Chanel 19 first before the other ones that I want, mainly because I feel like the Chanel 19 is one that I would want to be careful with just because it has that relaxed look. I'd be a little bit nervous of wear happening very quickly if, let's say, it was my only Chanel bag and I was using it to death. But from what I've seen in videos, nobody has really complained about, you know, excess wear. So that does make me feel a little bit better because I originally fell in love with that bag when it first came out and there were like no videos on it, and obviously nobody had any wear and tear videos because it had just come out. But now that I've seen, you know, I've seen people talk about wear and tear, it does make me feel a little bit better. So it has snuck its way onto my wish list again. So as far as bags, I only have 2 other bags that I really want at the moment, and one of them I'm kind of leaning towards like this would be probably just down the road, and that is the Goyard, either the St. Louis or the Artois bag. It depends. Again, I would kind of need to go see them in person. I have seen the St. Louis in person in Paris at the Goyard store. I really regret not getting it there because it was way cheaper, especially with the VAT refund. But at the time, I really didn't know a lot about Goyard, and I was so fixated on getting my Gucci and my Louis Vuitton stuff that I just wasn't really thinking about, you know, making the jump for the Goyard. But now I do wish I would have done that in hindsight. But I would want it in the black with the tan trim. I think that would be a super versatile tote bag. And the main reason I go between the St. Louis and the Artois, they are very similar, but the Artois, I believe, is the one that does have the zipper, and it also has more like structured corners versus the St. Louis, which that bag was designed just to be a beach bag, so it's not really meant to be like your work bag that you put a bunch of stuff in. So a lot of times people do end up seeing wear on the corners very quickly with that bag. But for me, I would mainly use it as just like a casual, like, you know, like going around town. I wouldn't necessarily need to use it as a work bag because I do have neverfulls for that. So, you know, I think I do love the slouchier look of the St. Louis, so I do think I would lean more towards getting the St. Louis versus the Artois, but they're both kind of on my wish list. But I wouldn't get both. I would just pick one and, you know, go from there. And then the last bag that I really have on my list is, well, technically it's 2, but hear me out. Okay, so the first one is, they're both from YSL. They're both the same bag, but in different sizes. So I really, really, really want the YSL small LouLou bag, and specifically in the color Storm. It does have gold hardware, and it's like a really deep gray. It's almost black gray, and I think with the gold hardware that it has, it just looks stunning. And this one I would think I would want to get in gray, like that deep gray, because I could still pair it with everything, but it's not totally a black bag, since I do have like a ton of black bags on my wish list. But I definitely want it in the small size first. I've also added the toy LouLou on my wish list a couple of times, and I really would want this in their like deeper beige color that they have. This one I definitely would go with a beige because I think on a toy, you know, a small mini bag, a beige would be perfect. It would give me some option for color, not really color, but it's more colorful than black, in my collection. So I do think I would want the toy, but that would be like way down the road. I'd rather get the small LouLou first just because I love the double like chain detailing, and I just think it holds a lot more. But the toy would be on my wish list like down the road once I achieve some of my other bag goals. And then as far as SLGs go, I really do want that Chanel like classic flap card holder, the one with the back pocket that you can actually slip a card into. I really think that would be a nice addition. I do have the like flat card holder from Chanel at the moment. I have a video on that as well. I'll link it down below. And I love that card holder, but I want the flap one just to have an option of carrying more. And I love that that one has the slip pocket on the back because I can put like my most used card in the back pocket. That way I'm not constantly having to go inside of it, but I can still fit a lot. So I do think I would want that in a color because if I'm going to get color, I think I'd rather do it in SLGs. I would really love like a nice like Barbie pink. They've had a nice pink come out in previous collections, but you know, with Chanel, once they make a color, they never do that exact same color again. But they do come out with similar. I have seen, you know, different variations of pink that I really like. So it's just a matter of waiting for it to come out. And I would get it in Caviar, mainly because lambskin and an SLG would make me really, really nervous. And then I also really want the Louis Vuitton Elizabeth pencil pouch. I think this would be awesome since I do, you know, love planning, and right now I'm just using like a Vera Bradley pencil pouch, and it's worked great and I have no complaints on it. Just down the road, I would like to get the Louis Vuitton pencil pouch because I think it would kind of like go all together with my agendas. And I would probably get it in the monogram. Right, they do come out with those in special editions, so I think it would just depend like if I'm like ready to buy that, what's the special edition collections that are out at the moment. But I would probably stick with the monogram if I didn't like any of the special collections. And then the last SLG that I want, and I believe this technically constitutes as an SLG, and if you watch any of my videos, you're going to think I'm absolutely insane, but I really want to get the Louis Vuitton MM Agenda. Now, I say that if you watch my videos, you're going to think I'm insane because I did own the MM Agenda. I've actually owned it twice in my like luxury career, you know, over the years. And I've gotten rid of it, you know, for different reasons. I'm not going to go too in-depth on it here, but I have decided I really do want to re-add it into my collection, mainly because the MM is honestly the perfect size for carrying around, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love my GM Agenda, but I'm just not motivated to carry it around with me because it is heavy, it is big. I am going to do a planner video comparing my GM to my PM and kind of going over the pros and cons to both. But I really do want to get the MM, and one of the main reasons for it is I'm really wanting to like revamp my budget and kind of start doing like the cash envelope system. So I really want to use the MM for kind of like a wallet slash budgeting agenda, and then of course over the years I can go back and forth. You know, maybe I want to use my GM this year for planning, or maybe I want to use the MM. And here's another reason why I'm kind of sold on the MM again. I was actually watching a video, and I will link it down below because this is the only person I've ever seen do this. One of my main complaints about the MM is the inserts. They are very narrow, and it kind of made it difficult to work with, you know. But I was watching a bunch of videos the other day, and I came across this girl on here, and like I said, I'll link it down below, and she was using B6 inserts, which are a little bit wider, and they are a little bit shorter than the traditional personal size inserts, but she had them hole punched for personal size. So if you just get B6 inserts that are punched for B6, they won't fit, she said, but you have to just punch them yourself sized for personal. And I thought this was genius because it literally solves the problem of having a little bit more width and it still fit perfectly. So that is another reason why I'm like, okay, maybe I could give the MM another chance and actually end up wanting to use it because I would have that width back and it would still be small enough to carry around while still being able to hold like a whole year's worth of stuff. So we will see. It is kind of high up on my wish list at the moment, mainly because I do love planning, and that is something that, you know, I feel like I can definitely get use out of all three sizes, you know, through my years. I don't really intend to get rid of them, but if I did decide, you know, hey, the MM it works perfectly for me, I don't need my GM, then I could sell the GM. It's not like I'm not that worried about it. And then really the last thing on my wish list, and I do have a couple pieces that are on my wish list that I'm not really going to talk about now because they are seasonal, so I know I'll never get them. But But the main thing I do want to get is a pair of the Chanel CC studs. Now, I believe these are like a classic. I see them on the website year-round, and they're not any, like, they don't seem to be special edition or anything. I just want the silver ones with the little crystals. I'll throw up a picture on here. And yeah, I think they'll be perfect because I do generally wear just like, these aren't like real, they're just fake little studs, but this is the theme I always go with on my ears, so I feel like those CC studs would be perfect. Now there's a couple other pairs of earrings and a necklace from the current, or I guess it was last season, because I believe they're coming out with the new season stuff now. I've seen people getting items. So I know I'll never get them unless I just happen to get lucky and go into the store and they happen to have leftover stock. But when I was chatting with associates, trying to find one of the items, they already didn't have it. So, you know, with the different collections, I think I would, you know, just see. I would maybe like to own like a Chanel choker. One of the ones from this last season, it was like, it had a bunch of like little mini CCs and it was just perfect. I actually did try to get that, but they didn't have it. So anyway, I feel like this video is rather long, so I will wrap it up here. I just thought it would be fun to go over my updated wish list for 2021. I've pretty much like curated this wish list to the items that I really, really want. So, oh, actually I forgot one thing. The Chanel Business Affinity, probably in the medium size. That is a seasonal bag, and I noticed with last season, they only had it in a small, so it would just depend on the season. And again, color, I would consider a beige or like a caramel depending on the season, or, you know, probably black. I really do like that bag, but I would say it's very low on the list. I would rather get those other Chanel bags first before that one, but assuming like money was no object, I would definitely like to own the Business Affinity as well. So now, that is it for my wish list. I really hope that this was fun. Definitely let me know down below, what are your like top 3 wish list, or even top 1, but I think 3 would be fun. What are your top 3 wish list items? Let me know down below. I'd love to chat and see if any of our items are similar. So anyway, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!